Time check is 6 a.m. Good morning, and you're listening to the first news bulletin of the day on 3FM 92.7. This bulletin is live from our studio here at Adisawe, Kanda in Accra, and the numerous athletes across the country. In Tamale, we are live on Kesmi 107.1 FM. Around the world, we're streaming live on 3news.com. My name is George Kwaning. Top of the stories are elders of Nungwa traditional area storm Coconut Grove Hotel demanding immediate release of the underage Queen Mother for some traditional rites to be performed. Also in this very bulletin, energy analyst downplays fresh calls for privatization of Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, and much later, Alan Chomantin's Alliance for Revolutionary Change joined forces with more political entities in a bid to break the MPP and DC duopoly. We've got details of these and many more coming up shortly. Do stay with us. Thanks for your time, and now the news in details. The Nungwa Traditional Council is calling on President Akufo-Addo to intervene in getting their Queen Mother, who is currently under state protection following the controversy over what was widely reported as child marriage, released. The mother's call last night joined a protest by people of the traditional area who stormed the Coconut Grove Hotel in Accra, demanding that the 16-year-old girl Na Akromo, who's betrothal to a 63-year-old Bobu Ulomo, be released. Ja Seche Ni Ayi Anna Conte spoke to my colleague Job Laboja.
We have been around since morning, combed through all the various agencies responsible for this particular issue, and we were expecting that, as at their pledge and their promise since Friday, that they were going to release the lady for us, our Queen Mother for us. Nothing seems to be coming out. What is going on? I pray that the president will step out and say a word of authority to whoever is keeping our Queen Mother to release that person to go.
What will be your next line of action if they don't release her to you?
Right now, the fetish priest and priestess are now invoking our gods. And we know the implications of when gods are invoked. Have you ever seen an egg sitting down before? Now they place an egg and the egg is sitting down. Then that means something else is going to happen next. If they start undressing themselves, stripping themselves naked to invoke curses on this thing, it will turn into another thing. Who are you to defend this issue spiritually? It's something that is serious. We need to look at it again. Let the Queen Mother be released now and nothing else.
Meanwhile, protesters from the Nungwa Traditional Council said they have some traditional rites to perform and they will not evacuate the place until their Queen Mother is released.
We have been around since morning, combed through all the various agencies responsible for this particular issue, and we were expecting that, as at their pledge and their promise since Friday, that they were going to release the lady for us, our Queen Mother for us. Nothing seems to be coming out. What is going on? I pray that the president will step out and say a word of authority to whoever is keeping our Queen Mother to...
Well, we will be following up on this very development and surely finish with updates in our subsequent bulletins. And away from that, energy analyst and lawyer Kwame Jantwa says the energy sector is important to the country and could not be left in the hands of private entities. According to him, it fuels political influences when the president is the one that appoints the technical leaders and the CEOs. His comment follows calls by the Asantehene Otumfuo to privatize state enterprises, including ECG, Greatco, and VRA, due to their inefficiencies. First, let's take a listen to the Asantehene.
To be contained with policies, and then private sector should be involved in setting up industries and everything. So it works that way. And therefore, you can attract more investments to come to the country. And it creates more employment. And others, our government establishment, let's give it out and divest to private sector, and then we inject money in there. And get the right people to do it. Greatco and others are all for private sector. Let's give them the money, get the qualified people, divest government from it, and let them do it.
And now let's listen to Kwame Jantwa, who disagrees.
The energy sector is an important sector to the country and cannot be given to any private sector. Government has to run it, and if government is going to run it, they need to do it well. First of all, the people who we put in these partakers to run should not be nominated by the president. That is a huge mistake, because what does it do? It skewers political influence.
If you just tuned in, pardon me, you're listening to the first news bulletin of the day on 3FM 92.7 with me, George Kwaning. More news this morning. A businessman has been slapped with multiple charges for allegedly assaulting and robbing former Second Lady Matilda Emisa Arthur at gunpoint at a residence in Accra. Court documents reveal that the businessman also robbed 4 others of various items. Here's a report by my colleague, Lodi Duasari.
When the case was called, the prosecution, led by Chief State Attorney Frances Malin Ansa, told the court that the accused person demanded monies and valuables amounting 3,000 Ghana cedis, $2,200 and 50 euros from the former Second Lady Matilda Emisa Arthur on December 5, 2023. Yahuza Osumanu also made away with a gold watch valued at 20,000 Ghana cedis and necklaces valued at 5,000 Ghana cedis. He additionally assaulted the former Second Lady by strangling and hitting her head repeatedly on the ground while demanding more valuable items. Madame Emisa Arthur lost consciousness momentarily, and when she regained consciousness, the accused person had left with the items. 4 others were also robbed by the same businessman, who made away with various cash sums. When the charges were read to Yahuza, he pleaded not guilty to all of them. Justice Lydia Osei Mafo remanded the accused person into prison custody and ordered prosecution to file documents to be used as evidence before May 21. The case has since been adjourned to May 2, 2024.
And that was a report by my colleague Lodi Duasari. Now let's do some politics. The Alliance for Revolutionary Change, comprising 10 political groups, including the Movement for Change, National Interest Movement, and the Third Force Movement, has signed a pact to contest the 2024 general elections. Leader Alan Chomanten is courting the support of all Ghanaians, indicating that the alliance is well positioned to transform the country. Take a listen.
As citizens, we owe it a moral obligation to generations preceding us who sacrificed to build this great nation, and to our children and generations yet unborn to build a Ghana that works not just for those in political office or those who have access to politicians, but a Ghana that works for all Ghanaians.
Alan Chomanten is the leader of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change. Meanwhile, political analyst Dr. Kwame Asante says as to whether the new alliance can cross the threshold of 3% is a question to ask. The best they can win is to team up with other smaller parties and push the elections to a second one. He spoke on News 360.
Yes, the Alliance for Revolutionary Change. Yes, they are making all the incursions and all that. But would they win? I'm afraid. I'm sorry to say, they can't win the presidential election. The best impression that they can make is to help other smaller parties team up with them. And then if they perform well, they are able to push the election to a second round. Elections are not only won based on messages and other things, but one of the things that also influence voter choices is what is the work that you have done.
Let's still stay in politics because the People's National Convention, PNC, says it will use every legitimate means to stop the newly formed political party from using the name People's National Party, PNP. The party said the adoption of the name by the breakaway group amounts to an illegality since the PNC is an offshoot of the PNP. This follows the formation of a new party by a breakaway group led by former General Secretary Janet Nabila. Here's National Communications Director of the PNC, Awudi Ishak.
So if today the PNP that was disbanded, or as it were, that was banned, you say that you are going to resurrect and use that same name, they will have a tall order to prove that indeed they are allowed or they have that right to use the PNP as the new name of a political party in Ghana.
Well, on that political note, we end the morning news. Before we go look again at the top stories, elders of Nungwa traditional area stormed Coconut Grove Hotel, demanding immediate release of the underage queen mother for some traditional rites to be performed. Energy analysts downplays fresh calls for privatization of Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, and Alan Chomantin's Alliance for Revolutionary Change joined forces with more political entities in a bid to break the MPP NDC duopoly. My name is George Kwaning. For more news update, you'd want to log on to our website. It's 3news.com. Thanks for listening. It's always a pleasure coming your way. Michael Ogudu is standing by for the very latest updates in business. Have a good morning.